Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another podcast of Serial Killers, the movie. And my name is Glenn Spillman alongside
Carl O'Leary.
All right, Carl, for those of you just tuning in to the podcast, is the major catalyst that sparked serial killers into existence. Because I already had a short film done. It was called Thanks for the Ride. And one day he just asked me a very simple question on who the hell's Dallas and what's his backstory. And hey, we should do something about, and then it morphed into this. You guys, so in the beginning, Serial Killers, the beginning film started out as 32 pages. Now, as it sits as a Friday night, 115 pages. And there's over 40 characters. Some have very small parts. Some have major parts. The major players are Raven, Morgan, Lamont, and Dallas. And then you have your supporting actors and whatnot. There's only one actor, that's playing himself. And that's Tony the Tiger Lopez, 3-time world champion boxer. And he finished some of his scenes on Saturday. And I want to thank Tony, number one, for coming out, because he had a boxing event to go to that night. And he's basically like, hey, man, we'll do it. Get me in and let's do my scenes and get me out. I'm cool. He was cool the entire time. But
nice.
The name of this podcast is called The Blacklist. And I'll tell you why it's called The Blacklist. Because in Hollywood, I'm from L.A. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I have been in the film business since I was 8 years old. I went to school for film, and I've worked with some of the top directors. Just as hey, we got a school lab, you got to go work on this film set. Today you're working with Wes Craven. Today you're working with John Carpenter. Today you're working, and I've worked with a lot of famous people.
Nice.
I know what kind of stuff goes on set. I know the shenanigans that go on set, some good, some bad. Some people show up drunk, don't know their lines. I can give you 1,000 stories. But that's not what this is about. This show is about, I'm going to try and curb my language because I don't want to be naughty. It's about the actors that committed to a role, and then one of the actors, I'm going to name. I mean, it is now. They were referred to me by one of our current cast actors, Jennifer Thurman, and Jennifer was like, "Hey, I got a friend who wants to be in the film, but they only want to be in the film if it is a talking role." Well, I texted back. It's on the Facebook page. You can see it. I said, "Well, that sounds a little bit arrogant," but anyway, I decided to give this individual a chance. I said, "Hey, let's see what's up." And I talked to her about the role, and I told her what the role was about. The initial role was for Smurf, and then she didn't get back to me in time, and I cast Smurf at like 11 o'clock one night because I was just going over and over with actors. And then I talked to her about playing the character Ashley. Well, oddly enough, this actor's name is actually Paxad, and it was a friend of Jennifer Thurman. So I said, hey, let's give her a chance. I told her about the role. I sent her the script. I told her how graphic the scene was. And the only thing that she asked me was, is there any nudity? I'm like, no, there's no nudity. No, nowhere in the film. You're seeing, it doesn't even describe nudity. So then she got her manager involved, which that's always a red flag with these young actors that think they're something and they're not. And the manager, it's another red flag where they didn't even really know too much about her. They was like, well, we just took her on and, so, which is fine, no big deal. But I don't like dealing with managers, and I'll tell you why.
No big deal.
Because managers are only out for themselves. And they're only out for who they could
Did he even know what it was about?
It's a she.
A she.
Both of them are she's. Yeah, I told Ashley what the what's it called? The character and the movie.
Uh-huh.
Um,
No, but the manager though, did she know what it was about?
Here's the thing. I'm gonna put the manager on blast because they're such an a-hole. Their name is Kristen Revives, talent manager for Ashley Paxad, and and they don't even live in the area. So I don't know why she has a manager that doesn't live in the area, but I'm telling you this because it's fact. I'm not making up anything about them. I'm not slandering them. I'm just saying the only bad thing I'm saying about Ashley, the actress, is you said you would do the role. You were excited to do the role, but it wasn't until we filmed on Saturday. And it wasn't until 9:23 p.m. on Friday night. And we were going to start filming, or call time was at 8 o'clock the following morning. And this manager says, "Hi, Glenn. After reading the new script for Ashley, the new character won't work. It's too graphic for her. And I don't... I know you had told me it was a horror movie. Unfortunately, it does cross too many boundaries. I don't know if the Smurf role, which we discussed, is still available or not. However, Ashley won't be doing the character of Ashley." And I won't tell you everything that I said because I just was like, this isn't a Disney film. It's a horror film. What boundaries were crossed? I mean, she didn't even ask any questions. I'm like, the film is based off of true events, as I told you yesterday, so I don't really know what this issue is.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Didn't you discuss this with her before filming this scene that she's supposed to do?
Yeah.
Didn't you tell her all the details of what's going down so she knows what to expect?
Of course I did.
And even though you've explained thoroughly to her what's going on, she still didn't want it. If she thought it was too graphic.
It's not her, it's the manager.
The manager. So the manager came in and said it was too graphic for her. So she's not speaking for herself.
Do you know how many managers have fucked over actors because they think that they shouldn't do a role? I mean, there's been some actors that their managers turned down a role for them, and that actor that got the role won an Oscar.
What I don't understand is, why did the manager jump in and say that she can't do the role if she's willing to do the role?
Well, maybe she's some Christian Bible beater that goes to church on Sundays and thinks that naughty words in horror movies are bad. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
All right. That's kind of strange.
So, but I did say my end statement was maybe your client should get an agent that supports and not condemn. Sorry you feel that way. So basically, Ashley is now, as the title of this podcast, she's now on my blacklist. Not only is she on my blacklist, but if I find out that any of my filmmaking friends are even talking to her, I will let them know what kind of person she is. She's very unprofessional. You do not back out of just hours before call time because your agent or manager or whatever the hell they are tells you shouldn't do it. She knew it was a horror movie, dude.
Right.
100% knew.
And she was 100% gun-ho until the manager decided.
Yes, I told her what the scene was like. It was a graphic scene. But here's the thing. Oddly enough, so we get on set, and we have some extras. We got a lot of extras that showed up. Mm-hmm. And there was an actress. I was just talking to her about other stuff, and I looked at her, and we were talking, and she's like, "Okay, what's up?" I'm like, "Well, one of the actresses didn't show up because," and I told her a little bit about the story, and her name, she was sent to be an extra from someone that knows me, and it was her sister. She said, "Oh, my friend's doing this movie on Saturday, needs extras, you should show up." Well, her name is Sarah Ireland. And She is a blonde, which is perfect because the original Ashley was blonde, and she was in a. We started talking. She was in a rock metal band, and then she goes, "Oh yeah, I've done acting." I'm like, "Oh really?" And I'm like, "Hey, I got this character because the actress didn't show up. I let her read the script, and I said, "Are you interested?"
Right.
She goes, "Hell yeah." It wasn't even a yeah, it was a hell yeah.
Right.
And I gave her my copy of the script, and I'm like, "Hey, learn your lines. We're going to be shooting that here in a couple hours." Boom, done. So I got that cast. And then I had another actor that that I cast. I put up on the website. They were like, "Oh, thank you for the opportunity," and blah blah blah, and
Right.
they all say that, and which I appreciate that, but they, I'm not going to say the full name of this person, but the at Friday at 4:05 p.m. their, I'll just say their name sounds like I'll just say the first name, Jedediah. They texted on Friday at 4:08 p.m. "Hey Glenn, I got bad news. My truck has an engine problem and it needs to be taken care of ASAP, so I'm not going to be able to attend filming tomorrow. I'm so sorry for the last minute notice. Please keep me up and posted about other filming days." Now, I am not going to put him on the blacklist, and I'll tell you why. Because he texted me, DM'd me, and told him it's a legitimate problem.
Right.
I can't fault somebody for that. Legit. And the only thing I told him was like, "Bro, I'm sorry, but your character was filmed yesterday. I can't help that."
Right.
Now, maybe we could talk about
The show
something.
must go on, as they say.
The show must go on.
Right.
And I will get you maybe in the next film. Not this film, the next film.
Right.
Then I hired I don't know whether to call him an actor or an actress, because their name on that they DM me from is Logan Thomas. And but when I put them up, I show, "Hey, look at the website." They go, "Oh, can you make it Evita?" I'm sorry, I didn't mean. So I cast someone from the LGBTQ community, which is no big deal. That's not the only reason why I did it. They just happened to be in the community.
deal.
So they didn't call. They didn't show up. So no call, no show. And because at Friday at 9:29 a.m. I say, "I will see you in the a.m." So Sunday at 6:30 in the morning, I was like, "Hey, just curious as to what happened to you yesterday." They didn't text me until like 7.5 hours later. "Sorry, I had car struggles. I got it worked out now." And then my response was, "Why didn't you text me, email me, DM, or call?" And they said, "I ended up having to go into work and wasn't home until almost 5 a.m. Then my car wasn't working. Sorry, it was a sequence of things." So, now, they did a no-call, no-show. So that puts them high on the list of beyond the blacklist. Now, Carl is the kind of individual who has a very kind heart, very sweet, very political when it comes to dealing with me. When I'm irrational, he might talk me down off of a ledge. So I will let Carl, I'm not the second, but I will have a talk with Carl after the podcast and be like, "Hey, what do you think we should do about this person? Should we blacklist them or not?" And I will see what he has to say.
All right.
And because I think that's fair, And then there was another actress that was being cast for the film, and her name is Jeray Easter. And I asked them Sunday at 6:31 in the morning, just curious as to what happened to you yesterday. They read my post. They have not responded to me. So for that, they are now on the blacklist.
Right.
All the other actor that was supposed to play Bo, he was an MMA fighter. He had 100%. I feel so bad for him. He had a 100% reason why that he didn't show up, and unfortunately there was a family emergency, and I respect that. But luckily enough, there was another actor that I was going to cast in a different role, but they waited a little bit longer to get back to me, so I cast, but they came as an extra. So I showed him that scene. I'm like, hey, do you want to play that scene? He said yes, and he killed the scene because it was perfect, because the fight that I was going to have between Tony and the MMA fighter was going to be more structured.
Yeah.
You know, but
And
this
that's
guy...
how it goes in this business, too. Like, if you're not available and someone else is available and they kill it,
Yeah.
they just took your spot.
And they did.
You just lost your opportunity. So keep that in mind when your future goals of being an actor or a stunt person or whatever it
Anything.
is. Think about that.
And the actor's name is Alex Perez. And I told Alex, because I said, dude, I want you to be so fucking awkward in this fight. I want you to be a sissy. I want you to throw windmill punches. I want you to be... And then he worked with Tony, and Tony did some, choreographing with him. And Tony knows what he's doing.
Right.
Tony knows how to pull a punch, make it look good. So then Gary Turner did some other stuff, which is one of the actors, but he's also a stunt coordinator and fight choreographer.
Right.
So Gary jumped in on a couple aspects, but then he worked with the Brian Jeong fight scene between him and Papa Doc. And Papa Doc is, for those of you know, he was he was Tupac's manager, which was brought to me by Gary in Whatnot, which is the brother of our DP, Freeman Free Jack Williams. So the actors that didn't show up on set are now on the blacklist. 100%. I will not work with them. I don't know. I'm not saying never. I'm just saying 95% chance I won't. You would have to do something really big to come back into my good graces, because you fucked everything up. Because when you don't show up, you throw production in a loop, a whirlwind, and then you got to scramble to. I mean, what happens if I didn't have an actor? I couldn't shoot so many scenes.
Yeah.
You know? And if I would have had to send Tony home...
What if you had no actors and none of them showed up?
Well...
Game over.
You know,
for the day.
That's true.
And if you set a time aside so that you could do it, now you just lost time that you set aside for nothing.
Well, here's what happened.
It's a loss at that point.
When these actors did a no-call, no-show, and I had to pull a rabbit out of my ass... it caused production to fall behind by an hour and a half, 2 hours. So, the scenes that I was going to shoot with you, Raven, a couple of the other actors that showed up, these people drove all the way from fucking Reno to show up. And there was like 4 people that came from Reno. And then there's at least 6 people that we couldn't shoot their scenes because these actors did a no-call, no-show. So it threw everything into...
It sucks, man.
You know, and so now...
It's just like work, guys. You don't do a no-call, no-show. It's just bad.
Yeah.
You got to let the person that you're working with know what's going on, what your condition is. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just like, I'm really sick. You tell them so that they know ahead of time, and maybe they can go, okay, well, let's get you better, and we'll try to reschedule and do it. Rather than on the day of... You know, unless, of course, it is the day of and you are sick, because we can't control that. But, like, anything other than that, where it's just like, oh, I'm not so sure I can do it today. I have some bullshit excuse going on right now. I have a party to go with a friend, I promised. No, don't do that.
So I will tell you this. For those actors, their managers, whatever... Because this isn't just some bullshit movie that we decided to do. Mm-hmm. This is a serious movie that is based off of 90-95% real stuff. 100% of the characters are real people. Now, when this takes off, because I think it will,
oh yeah, absolutely.
You guys are going to be sorry. 100%.
Yeah.
Then you're going to be crawling back. Oh, can I be in one of your next ones? Nope. No, you can't. And
And that's an opportunity lost.
yeah, because you didn't believe in us back then, but now you want to believe in us because, it's like I said. I mean, we're doing this film. It is 100% close to my heart because, you guys already know why.
Yeah.
I did that in the first podcast. I sat with the actress that plays Ashley, Sarah Ireland, yesterday for 2 hours and 15 minutes. She got to know me on a personal level. I told her why I was doing the film. I gave her my history. And she basically said, now that I know more about who you are and what you've gone through and why you're doing this film, I love this even more. I want to be a part of this even more. She's one of the very few people that believe in what we do. I told her how many people, over 100 people, turn us down because, sensitive subject matter, or, we said the F word too many times, or you people really need to look up the definition of what a freaking horror movie is. And I'm not saying every horror movie.
What kind of movies are they watching where they're not cussing? Every movie has cuss words in it. Every movie has violence in it. Practically every movie has blood in it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just a small amount, there's still blood.
I mean,
I've seen Disney have bloody movies, so I'm just like, what do you expect?
The movie that we watched the other day, Sleepaway Camp.
Oh yeah.
That was, what was it made in 84? 82?
Yeah, something.
In the 80s. It was full. I looked at Carl, I'm like, holy shit. People think this movie is, Sleepaway Camp was nothing but pedophilia this, pedophilia that.
Yeah, it was.
And it was,
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
what the F, man? But the moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is if you commit to a project, you better damn well do it.
Yeah.
Because I give you guys acting roles because I think you're good at the character. I think you could do the character. And when I pass up other people, like for the role of Ashley, I gave it to Jennifer Thurman's friend. There was a red flag in the beginning, but I give it to her anyway, and it bit me in the ass. So, and I told Jennifer, I don't remember if I told her, don't send me anybody else, or you better make damn well sure that you better let them know I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to be an asshole here, folks. I'm really not. But I've been on enough film sets. I have seen people get blacklisted from working that they got to go to another state to work because they pissed the wrong. I'm not saying I'm that powerful.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what the people I work with are.
Right.
Well,
it's a pretty big deal that you're giving them opportunity for lines, because I think in Hollywood, they go with the big stars. They don't even, if they do give you shots, because they really trust you and earn their trust, and they're like, we'll give you a few lines.
Right.
But if they do that, that means they trust you like ironclad versus just, let's see what happens. I don't think they do that. I don't think they just give someone an opportunity unless they know.
Right. And then I have other actors saying, well, my financial advisor, said that, I need to make this worth my while. And everybody knows that this is deferred pay. Mm-hmm. So when I get some financial advisor up my ass, I'm like, well, and I told this actor, I won't say their name, but I told this actor, hey, you give the lines and the scenes to your financial advisor, and you let me know what you should be paid, and then we'll discuss it. And I'm going to see what number that they throw out, and I'll see if it's reasonable or if I'll see if it's a ludicrous. But everybody's going to get paid that's acting. It's just deferred paid. Now, if I get the money before the film ends, everyone gets paid. I've told everybody, when we do the premiere, we're going to sell tickets at $20 a piece. And if we sell 200 tickets, that's $4,000. Well, that $4,000 gets distributed to all the actors. Not to me, to all the actors. And going from the main ones all the way down. So everyone's going to get a piece of the pie. It may not be now, but it'll be hopefully by the end of the year. You know? So if money's your main motivation, that's your wrong motivation.
Right.
This is a independent film. It's a low budget indie film. If we get them, I've said this from the beginning. I have not give anybody any false hopes, any lies, or anything like that. I've told everybody we're trying to raise the money, and I've even had a couple actors like, "Oh shit, I didn't know we were getting paid. I was just doing this because I believe in you." But I mean, yes, everyone's going to get paid. Like I said, right now it's deferred, but I mean, Carl, I mean, I've been rambling, man.
Yeah, it's
do
fine,
you
man.
have any like other words other than what I'm saying to throw in this mix?
You know, the last thing you want to do is get blacklisted for films, because then you're going to have a hard time getting films, as we've pretty much discussed. So don't screw up your chances, because it's hard in this business as it is.
Yeah.
And if you blacklist yourself enough times, you may never make it back. You want to make sure that the person that you're working with sees you as someone they can continually work with, and they want to spread the word, hey, I like this guy or this girl.
Sure.
Check them out.
Sure.
You don't want them to have a negative response, because then that could just kill your career right off the bat.
Right.
It happens all the time. So just really, if you're going for something, see it through.
And that goes with agents too. If I get an a-hole agent and they give me some song and dance, say 6 months, a year down the line, one of the actors that I really like, and that's their agent, I'll drop them in a second, because I don't want to deal with that agent.
Yeah.
I'll be like, sorry, bro, not going to do it. Because when you get an agent that tries to control your career and tell you what you need, dude, I could understand, like, I know actors that are A-list actors that tell their agent, dude, don't do that shit. You tell me what comes down the pipeline.
Right.
I mean, one of the actors, Eric Roberts, he does a lot of independent films. One of the films you don't like, Human Centipede, he was in the third one.
Yeah.
You know, he was in The Batman with Heath Ledger.
Oh, right on.
You know, he's also done a lot of independent films, so he's a really cool dude. But what I'm saying is, when you, if you're not a well-known actor like this person that is dealing with this agent, and you're just starting out, don't be so damn arrogant.
Right.
Don't.
Right.
Because it will 100% bite you in the ass. And I understand not wanting to do a nude scene. 100%. I understand you might not want to do a drinking scene because you're an alcoholic. I mean, you're not drinking real alcohol, but you don't even want to simulate it because it might trigger something.
Right.
But when if you go out for a horror film, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one word you need to understand, and that's the word horror. And if you think of any horror film from the beginning of horror, from the 20s, has had some form of violence in it. Even the Bela Lugosi movies have violence in it, have blood in it. Alfred Hitchcock, the Psycho, the bitch got stabbed in the shower.
Yeah, she did.
You know, that's violence. And I mean, that was in the 60s, you know? And if people think this is a raw film, just look at Rob Zombie's film. I keep saying this, House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh, yeah.
There's language in there that makes me sound like a preacher, you know? And there's scenes in there that make this movie look Disney, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
And Terrifier as well. All the Terrifier
Oh, my
series.
God. Terrifier even, yes.
So, yeah.
Even in the last Terrifier, when the girl was doing the thing with the knife.
Yeah.
I won't say what it is. But,
Right.
Anyways, I'm done babbling, dude. Do you have anything
That's
else?
it, man. That's all I got to say.
All right. Peace out, guys.
See you guys.
Don't get blacklisted.
That's right.